stories here in the papers. It says here, EFCC nabs club owner, 14 others over alleged internet fraud. So much internet fraud out there. And a lot of people, I mean, this is a conversation that we often have about how, people who say, they've gone on to do internet fraud because of how the country is, and, the government isn't providing the means for these people, but excuses like that. But it says here, operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested a club owner, Emeka Kingsley, and 14 others at the Glass House Club in the Abule Egba area of Lagos State over alleged internet fraud. Punch Metro learned that the EFCC operatives raided the club around 1 p.m. on Thursday, April 15th, 2021, following intelligence that it was being used as a hideout by suspected fraudsters. Investigation is ongoing and the suspects will be charged to court afterwards, as EFCC source told a correspondent. Also in the papers this morning, the Nigeria Labour Congress will today, Friday, come up with its position on the recommendation by governors that the price of premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol, be raised from 162 naira per litre to 408.5 naira per litre. A committee set up by the Nigeria Governors Forum had on Wednesday called for immediate removal of petrol subsidy. It recommended a petrol price of between 380 per litre and 408.5 per litre. However, the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry and the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry on Thursday advised the federal government to be tactful when removing petrol subsidy. They recommended that it be done gradually. Also, officials of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation told a correspondent that the oil firm was awaiting the federal government's position on the recommendation of the governors before it would adjust petrol price. Sometimes when I see some of the policies that our public office holders arrive at, so I also wonder, what picture of the Nigerian do they have in mind? I think the picture of the Nigerian they have in mind is the picture of the Instagram person who's probably popping champagne or living a fake life. I don't know, because some of the people you meet, you're wondering, when they put some policies in place, are they thinking of, the person who cannot even afford 2 square meals? Well, I guess to those kind of people, they'll say they don't even have car, they don't have, they can't afford generator anyway. So, so they are leveraging some of these prices to some of the people who can afford generators. But at the end of the day, it's not just about petrol prices going up. It's going to ricochet to a lot of other areas. So, Mufutau in whatever, Agungi, whatever, may not be able to afford a generator or buy fuel. But when you raise the price of fuel, it will still affect Mufutau in Agungi. So most of the time, I'm wondering, who do they have in mind when they sit down and have discussions and come up with, some of these new policies? And, for me, I feel like they're not thinking about the people that make up the masses. I don't feel like they're thinking of the people that make up the masses. So for me, I don't know. But let me know what your thoughts are. You can send a text. I would love to read your text. Or you can go on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @SplashFM1055, @SplashFM1055. And the number to text to is 080-5699-8678 or 0809 155-1055, or you can use the number 0706-949-3000, 0706-949-3000. I'd love to read from you, so please send text messages. All right, also in the papers this morning, I wanted to bring you this bizarre piece of news. Men of the Ogun State Police Command have arrested a 47-year-old woman, Olanshile Nasiruddin, for allegedly stabbing her husband, Jimoh Nasiruddin, to death for impregnating another woman. Now check out this story. The incident happened on Wednesday in Ijabode during an argument between the woman and her late husband. This is the interesting part. Punch Metro gathered that the suspect was the fourth wife of the deceased and worked in the same abattoir with him. The State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Abimbola Oyeyemi, confirmed the incident in a statement on Thursday. Oyeyemi noted that the woman stabbed her husband in the leg. He explained that argument ensued between the couple when the woman reportedly questioned her husband's lover for getting pregnant for him. The PPRO added she started questioning the woman about her audacity to get pregnant for her husband, and this led to a hot argument between her and the deceased, as a result of which the suspect picked a knife and stabbed the deceased at the back joint of his first leg, thereby cutting one of his veins. Sometimes, some people just make rash decisions. I don't know. For me, I'm probably just thinking I'm going to do something to hurt him, and at the end of the day, she's committed murder. But the fact that she's the fourth wife, I don't know. Maybe perhaps she thought the man was going to stop at her, and she was the real deal. But you know what they say: you lose them how you get them. Also in the papers this morning, there's quite a number of interesting news stories as well. In the Punch newspaper, the Nigerian Communications Commission has said Nigerians will have to submit the International Mobile Equipment Identity, the IMEI, of their phones to it from July. The regulatory body said this in the Commission's revised National Identity Policy for SIM card registration. The NCC's move to start the implementation of the device management system, a centralized equipment identity register, is backed by the President, Major General Muhammadu Buhari. A portion of the policy said, accordingly, His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, has directed that the device management system should be implemented within 3 months. The NCC said, with the aim to curtail the counterfeit mobile phone market, discourage mobile phone theft, enhance national security, protect consumer interest, increase revenue generation for the government, reduce the rate of kidnapping, mitigate the use of stolen phones for crime, and facilitate blocking or tracing of stolen mobile phones and other smart devices. One of the means to achieve this is through the deployment of device management system. The implementation of a centralized equipment identity register, otherwise known as device management system, will serve as a repository for keeping records of all registered mobile phones, international mobile equipment identity, and owners of such devices. So, until we find something really wrong with this, it seems like this is just a move to try and stem, but I'm sure that people will definitely look thoroughly into this, a move to stem more, fraudulent behavior, phone theft, and a lot of the other things that people use, mobile phones to do illegally. So that's in the news this morning. Let's move to the Tribune newspaper, where we can find a few more headlines. Reps halt proposed hike of electricity tariff. That's in the Tribune newspaper this morning. Also in the Tribune newspaper, Boko Haram leader Shekau seriously wounded after attempting to kill himself to avoid capture. This is in the Tribune newspaper, and it says Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau has been seriously wounded after trying to kill himself to avoid capture during clashes with rival Islamic State allied jihadists in the north of the country. Two intelligence sources told the agents, the AFP on Thursday. Shekau's Boko Haram faction and fighters from the Islamic State West Africa province had been battling in northeastern Borno State, where ISWAP militants have become the dominant force in Nigeria's more than decade-long jihadist insurgents. To avoid capture, Shekau shot himself in the chest and the bullet pierced his shoulder, the source said, adding he was badly injured. Some of his men managed to escape with him to an unknown destination, the source added. A second intelligence source said Shekau was critically wounded after detonating explosives in the house where he was holed up with his men. We are investigating, Nigeria's army spokesman Mohammed Yorima told AFP by text, asked about those reports. So, this is not the first time we're going to hear. We've heard that Shekau had died quite a few times. So we're looking forward to hearing what exactly has become of him, after this. So we'll definitely keep you posted on that. Also in the papers this morning, Kaduna crisis, federal government directs state government to follow principle of redundancy. Federal government directs state government to follow principle of redundancy. Also in the papers this morning, reps halt proposed hike of electricity tariff. Open grazing, Malami wrong, lawyers say. All right, that's also in the Tribune newspaper. Also in the Tribune newspaper, making headlines this morning in the papers, AGF utterances debase Nigeria. Senators Baribe. This is the comparison between spare parts and open grazing, the banning of the open grazing. All right, also in the papers, President Buhari arrives Abuja from France. Okay, thank God the president arrived safely. We're glad and we thank God for that. Also in the papers this morning, from the Tribune newspaper, now open grazing outdated, Mieti Allah patron says. All right, that's also in the papers this morning. All right, that's all we can do this morning on Straight from the Dailies in bringing you the headlines, the stories making headlines. Don't forget at 8 o'clock. is where the meat of the matter will be, as I will be joined by the rest of the breakfast gang, which consists of Oluwaseun Akinola, Charity Jerome, and I, as we look at some of the very popular news headlines, especially during the week, and we'll also take it apart a little bit. So join the interesting conversation. It will definitely be fun. I'm Ronke Giwa Onafuwa. I'm still here, and I'll be back at 8 o'clock, so don't go away.
Splash FM 105.5.
Now, where's that to be